What's up, everybody? It's Sunday. Let's get down to this analysis real quick. Hop in here real quick. Let's talk about Forex for this whole week. What are my intentions? What am I seeing? And the first chart that I always look at is the US dollar index. By far is the #1 chart to pay attention to because everything revolves pretty much, everything revolves around the US economy. US dollar is being traded with the dollar or against the dollar. And the #1 chart to take a look at, that I always look at, would be the weekly chart. Reason being because when the new weekly candle comes out, right? Because Friday they close out the weekly candle and the daily candle. Now the most important candle is the weekly candle because you're anticipating the next close for Friday and where that weekly candle is going to end up going, closing up or closing down. Now this is a bull candle, even though they send it down for non-farm payroll. Now the dollar is still on the bullish run here, and this is what I've been waiting on. So since this one did not close as a bearish candle, right, and it's closing going up, you can see that this one is closing above all this here. So closing above previous resistance. I don't care about the wicks anymore. There was a lot of resistance and a lot of resistance and also a lot of price being shut off right here at 95. Since this being as a bull candle, then I'm expecting it to be another bull candle to come target 97 or maybe 96.5. And I know that's a pretty strong engulfing bullish candle that we'd be looking at for this week. Now, for the economic calendar, I want to show you guys there's not a whole lot going on for the U.S. U.S. economic news coming out this week. So it is more focused on the RBA. If you don't know what the RBA is, the Reserve Bank of Australia, they have their interest rate decision and the rate statement coming out on Monday. You also have the Reserve Bank of New Zealand coming out as well for their interest rate decision and their rate statement on Wednesday. So Monday during Tokyo sessions, you'll see this. Pretty much, Monday, Sydney and Tokyo. And then also Wednesday. Oh, okay, so Wednesday just Sydney session because this is before their rate statement and their interest rate decision is exactly when New York closes. So, and basically it's exactly when Sydney opens. So you have to expect that volatility. Now the only problem is the spreads are going to be so high. So I wouldn't suggest putting any. You have to use big lots. I would say standard lots, and even using a 0.5 is still not enough because the spreads are so far out as soon as New York closes, anyways. So it's on you if you want to trade it. This is pretty heavy for. I mean, you got 5 high impact news coming out for New Zealand here on Wednesday, so it's pretty important. That's a good news trade right there. Thursday, not a whole lot going on except for what are we looking at? GDP for Japan, RBA. I mean, you got a lot of RBA and RBNZ news. You got a lot of New Zealand news and a lot of Australia news as well coming out. Initial jobless claims, I'm not too worried about that. Housing, not a whole lot going on for Thursday. And Friday, the only thing I'd be trading would be CAD news. Well, along with London sessions for the pound for the GDP for the pound, and CAD news for Friday morning here. Really not too focused on consumer price index. What else? No, that's not it. So Tuesday, Yeah, not a whole lot going on, really, to be honest. When there's not a lot of U.S. news, when there's not a lot of U.S. economic news coming out, you have to focus on the trade wars. That's still going on. You have to focus on the trade wars and political events, unexpected political events from, I mean, not just Trump, but from the White House. I mean, if there was an act of war coming along, or something that would spark an interest of conflict within two countries. And so you have to remember that political events are going to drive, pretty much is going to drive New York sessions all day anyway. So that's going to be the biggest thing to pay attention to. And I'm going to keep talking about that, because during New York sessions, if all of a sudden you see, like, you know, USD JPY flying all the way up back to 112, 113, there's probably a good reason why it's going up. And so, and then if the dollar was to reverse and shoot down on its price massively during the New York session, it had nothing to do with the economic news. You can clearly see that there's really no, to me, there's really not a whole lot of economic data to push the volatility for the U.S. dollar. So everything falls back to the political events, and you have to pay attention to that. Trump's little words already sparks, a 20 to 30 pip movement already on the U.S. dollar. And so, I mean, you just gotta take a look at that. You know, if Trump can move the markets that much, and then you have to expect the volatility when there's a big political event going on. And so it's always during New York sessions. And you have to remember that the London overlap is very crucial, because it's gonna dictate that trend. And so you have to take a look at that within the first couple hours in New York sessions. And so very important. I mean, I'm basically giving out as much tips here. And like I said, it's closing above, and it's still at 95. I mean, closing here at 95.16. It's above 95. That's what I've been looking for, because the most important thing was that if it didn't close above the 95, then I'd be looking for this to close down to 94, and then to come back to 93, and then this would be the next one, 92.5, and then all the way back down to 89. And so, but right now it's still on a bull run, and the next target would be 96.5 and 97. So we'll see how far they shoot this price back up for the dollar. And on the monthly, this candle could very well be a bull candle engulfing all of this back to 98 at the end of the month, if these next weekly candles are going to be bull candles. So that's my prediction, and that's a quick analysis of what I've seen right now. So we still have 1, 2, 3, three more weekly candles to close out, but the next two are going to be the most important one, because I want to see where they're going to try and drive this weekly trend structure on the weekly chart for the US dollar. That's the most important thing, because if it keeps going and it's not going to stop, then the next, I mean, like I said, we could very well see this go back to where it fell at 103 before it does a major slide going back down. So can that happen? Of course it can happen. And if that's the route it's going to take, then that's the route it's going to go. So you have to remember that the dollar has shifted this, right? This is 2017 all the way down to 2018. That's a whole year of dropping. That's a whole year of downtrending for the dollar. That's one whole year. So if this is the new year, right? The new year 2018, and we're coming into August right now, and they're slowly creeping this dollar back up. We could very well see the dollar going back to 99 and 100 before it makes that move going back down again. I mean, that's just the way I see it right now. I've been wanting to short the dollar because of all these wicks and all this resistance here, but this last weekly candle has pushed up and hasn't decided to close down yet. So it needs to close below 94 for me to make that decision to be a strong sell. Without that, I'm not going to waste my time on it. So there you guys have it, because this is the most important chart to pay attention to me. I'd say this is the most important chart, and you have to pay attention to the U.S. political events. You got to know what Trump is doing. You got to know what the White House is doing. I mean, you got to, because things are just stirring up, especially during New York sessions, and it's so volatile during New York sessions that you don't even know what to expect. And so that's why I talk about New York sessions first a lot already, and I talk about the U.S. dollar, the trade wars that are still being impacted, any unexpected political events that's going to drive New York sessions, and then yeah, we're in the month of August, and we're in a new week. We're coming into the new week again, and so second week of August. I mean, this is what I see right here, and if you don't see what I see, you can make a video or chart your own analysis, and I love to see it too. So like I said, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, I don't got nothing else to talk about anyway. So I mean, that's basic analysis here, and strictly just naked Forex from now on. That's it. No more indicators. That's it. That's all I'm looking at right here. Candlestick structure, the candlestick patterns, next support, next resistance, long higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly. That's it. And hop back to the 15-minute just for a little bit of scalp, and that's it. And that's pretty much it, man. So nothing too crazy. And once you really get good at it, shut off all your indicators and go naked Forex. That's the way to go. I'm just being flat out honest. That's the way to go right now. And so, but other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. That's my analysis for this whole week. And just pay attention to New York sessions at all times, because you don't know what's going to happen. That's the most important session right now. So other than that, I appreciate you guys watching this. Like I said, feel free to let me know if you're confused on this and what your thoughts are. So have a great Sunday, guys.